Thank you guys for not only being here, but for being patient with us. As many of you know, yesterday our team made an arrest on an individual by the name of Zaid Ali. He's been arrested for multiple counts, actually 3 counts of cruelty to animals, an additional count of aggravated cruelty to animal in the death of one of his horses, and then an additional count of causing the death of an animal. And his bond's $21,500. This case actually started back in late January, right around early February off of Dairy Road, at 3130 Dairy Road down in Melbourne. And when we looked at this case, our animal enforcement unit was involved, our animal cruelty unit was involved, and then a lot of our deputies that were actually involved in several different occasions. What I will tell you is that initially the call came in from concerned citizens in the area that were seeing that the horses were extremely malnourished. He had some other animals there as well, but the horses were the primary concern. So when we got the information, our animal enforcement team went out and actually looked at the horses. The horses were in my own personal words, I'll tell you, they were in very pitiful shape. I actually went to the scene on February 7th and got a chance to look at the horses firsthand. But our team started following our protocols, putting everything into place. We actually had a local vet who was very experienced, equine vet, that went down, looked at one of the horses, and that horse's name was Sammy. Looked at the horse was extremely malnourished. The vet was brought there for that one specific horse because of his current condition, and he actually had a chance to look at the others. Noticed they were malnourished, but Sammy was the one that was at primary concern at that point. In fact, Sammy was in such bad shape at that point that the vet didn't even want us to try and transport Sammy away from the scene. He felt like that because of his extreme condition, that the trauma from having to get into a horse trailer and being moved away from his area would be extreme for him. So he actually had us put him into his stable. One of the concerns was that there was so little feed and hay for the horses that the other horses were actually bullying Sammy and taking his feed from him. So by putting him in the stable, he felt that would at least give him a chance to eat what food was being provided. Our team at that point gave specific instructions following what the vet had said about how the horses were to be fed, how they had to be maintained, and the very next day we got a subsequent call that said that Sammy had gone down, was actually lying on the ground. We got another vet out there, actually an assistant to the vet that was there the previous day, and that veterinarian decided that Sammy had colicked from being so malnourished and then actually being fed again. The decision was made to humanely put Sammy down. That was at the direction of the vet, and our team was there as that was taking place. I will tell you that during the course of the investigation, in my opinion, the individual showed little to no remorse. Actually was very defensive and said that he was feeding the horses as they were supposed to be fed. The following day, our team went back out. We had a chance to see that the direction we'd given was being followed, or if it was not being followed. It was our decision at that time that it was not being followed. In the interim, we had been meeting with the county manager's office. Their attorneys had been 100% connected with us, trying to give us the best advice. At the time, initially, they didn't think that we had enough to take the horses. Plus, we also had the concern about them being malnourished. When we went back out the following day, there was no feed, there was no hay, there was no water for the horses, and at that time our team made the decision we're taking these horses. I'd like to thank Rick Schmidt, who is the sergeant. He's a volunteer sergeant over our mounted posse. Rick and his team actually came out that day, took possession of the 3 remaining horses, and Rick has been working day and night since that time to get the horses back into a very nourished state where they are in very stable condition. In fact, we'll make sure today that you have photographs of the horses and their current appearance. It is a difference of day and night, I will tell you that. So our team has done an excellent job in getting a great criminal investigation and arrest against this individual. Is our intent, as well as our state attorney's intent, to prosecute him to the fullest extent that we can, and to make sure that he never has the opportunity to harm another animal. So at this time, I'll take any questions you have.
if there are some other animals that are on the property as well, what type of jurisdiction does your office and animal services have over those particular animals, if any?
Sure. The other animals that are out there, there are some chickens that are out there, and 2 dogs. Our team is constantly monitoring them. At this point, there does not seem to be any danger for them. In fact, the day that I was there, one of the dogs was outside. He appeared very healthy. In fact, I sat there and petted him for a while, and he seemed to be taken care of.
Sheriff, where do these horses go to from now? Are you looking for a family for them, or
we
adoption?
are. We believe in working with the vet that the horses are now back in healthy enough shape that we can look to foster them out and eventually find forever owners for them. So our team is working on that. We'll be putting that out very soon. But I can't say enough about Sergeant Rick Schmidt. I don't know if you guys remember Rick or not. He worked for many years in our sex offender unit, retired and became a member of our reserves. He's a long-time stable and horse guy, and we called on him because he's over our mounted posse, and we knew he'd know exactly how to help get the horses back healthy. So I can't say enough about him for everything he's done to make this happen.
Is there any way that we can actually go and see the horses?
I will check on that. I'm certainly not opposed to that. I just want to make sure that we're very protective about their current location and everything else. But I'll look into that. You know, it does bring up a point that when we first agreed to take over animal services, we knew there were some things that were going to need to be caught up, some capital gains. One of the things that was very important to me was I wanted to start an animal cruelty unit. We have done that. We have actually brought on a very experienced investigator who is heading up our animal cruelty unit, looking at it from the criminal aspect. If you look in just the last 5 months, what we have seen is dog fighting rings here in Brevard County. We've seen cruelty to animal, and for me, and I think you guys know this enough about me, if you're going to mistreat an animal, we're going to put you in jail. And if you'll mistreat an animal, you'll certainly mistreat a human. So we're going to make sure that we're following that as far as we can to get you behind bars.
And just to go a little bit off tangent, any updates to any of the major cases that are being investigated?
Not right now. I'm assuming you're talking about the ones out of Satellite.
Satellite Beach or Barefoot Bay?
Yeah, nothing that I can speak of right now. They are currently still under investigation. Our team has done a great job there. Our homicide unit, our crime scene unit, all of them combined have just done doing a lot of great work, and I'm sure we'll be coming back to the table here very soon with some good news. All right.